Dan Bidondi reporting for the InfoWars Nightly News. In part one of our special report, we showed you now declassified documents of our government covertly testing chemical weapons on our troops. But it took years for this information to see the light of day. And now, soldiers are being deployed on multiple tours, some with missing limbs from combat injuries. So it's no wonder we are now seeing an increase in troop suicides. But don't worry, because the Pentagon has a solution. You can trust them, right? Well, here's part two of that report. Today, the DoD admits that it tested the deadly nerve agent sarin, known as VX, or biological toxins, on American servicemen, but said the information was classified. And lately, the DoD agreed to declassify all of the 113 operations and inform the Department of Veterans Affairs, known as the VA, of the findings, and presently, only 12 of the 113 have been declassified, although the information being released is very limited. And only about 600 veterans of the estimated tens of thousands of those exposed to warfare agents have been notified. A study by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs completed in September of 2001, but never released to the public or the affected veterans. And according to USA Today, Army suicide rate hits an all-time high in July in 1 month tally. Soldiers killed themselves at a rate faster than one per day in July, the Army announced Thursday. There were 38 deaths either confirmed or suspected as suicides, the highest 1 month tally in recent Army history, the service said. The Army suicide pace this year is surpassing last year, particularly among active duty soldiers. There is a 22% increase, 116 deaths so far this year versus 95 during the same 7-month-year period of last year. Now, the United States Army recently came out with a document titled Army Suicide Prevention Program. And in this program document, it shows two graphs. One is the active duty suicides by calendar year. And as you can see, it's a staggering increase in suicides in the military for active duty soldiers. Then we move on to the second chart that shows the increase in suicides by non-active duty suicides by calendar year. You can see the suicide issue is very alarming and only getting worse. Now the government is pushing these so-called anti-suicide poisonous nasal vaccines that chemically destroy parts of the brain. And Russia Today reports that the United States Army grants $3 million for anti-suicide nasal spray research. And the article goes on to state that for those feeling down in the dumps, the U.S. military now has a solution, an anti-suicidal nasal spray that delivers antidepressant chemicals to the brain. Yes, folks, another brain-eating vaccine. Can it be trusted? But they say the U.S. Army has awarded a scientist at the Indiana University School of Medicine $3 million to develop a nasal spray that eclipses suicidal thoughts. Dr. Michael Kubak and his research team will have 3 years to assert whether the nasal spray is safe or effective method of preventing suicides. The Army suicide rate is the highest level in all of history, with more American soldiers taking their own lives, being killed more than by the Taliban. The Pentagon reported in June that the suicides among soldiers have averaged 1 per day this year, surpassing the rate of combat fatalities of last year. This is not an attack in any way on the brave men and women who served in the armed forces, but to bring awareness that parts of our government are criminals and have no care for our safety. And the bottom line is the elite hate the military, and so do high parts of our government. And Henry Kissinger made this disturbing and very disrespectful quote about the military, stating that military men are just dumb, stupid animals to be used as pawns in foreign policy. And that, my friends, is what the elite think of you. And this is Dan Bidondi for this special report on the InfoWars Nightly News.